I'm Barry Trammell, and I say the early returns on the new OSU offense in Stillwater are reasons for concern.
I'm Jenny Carlson, and this is the Press Row from the Opubco Studios in Oklahoma City. Barry, it's true that Brandon Weeden, the guy who's going to quarterback this new offense, this Dana Holgorsen offense, is saying, hey, it's a little different playing in this than watching this, but cause for concern already? I mean, isn't this still April?
Well, it is early, and anything can happen. But I think you've got a little bit of a perfect storm for some offensive problems. You got a new quarterback, a guy who self-admittedly has never really been much of a practice player, trying to learn a new offense with a revamped offensive line, without many of the playmakers from years past. To me, looks like the early returns on Dana Holgorsen's offense might be a little rough in Stillwater.
Well, I think if Brandon Weeden had come out, we're still, even though the spring game looms at OSU, we're still relatively early on in the process here. These guys have only been on the field a limited number of times with this offense. I think if Brandon Weeden had come out and said, hey, this is a piece of cake, I think we would have been shocked by that. So I really think this is just the process. This is just learning the offense. This is just trying to figure out all the intricacies of this offense. And you know what? I think honestly, Brandon Weeden's about the scenario of having him as a guy who played pro baseball and is now quarterbacking this team. I think this is a veteran guy who is experienced in a lot of different levels of sports. I think he's a fairly intelligent guy. I think it's just a matter of time. I'm really not concerned by this. I'd have thought maybe he was lying if he'd have come out and said everything was fine.
Well, I think even if Zach Robinson had come back for another year, and OSU was still had the same old Mike Gundy offense, Larry Fedora offense, I think this would be a sort of a rough season offensively because of all the changeover on the line and with the receivers. No Keith Toston. So I think with the new offense and a new quarterback, I just think it's bound to be some rough waters. Now, I appreciate the honesty of Holgorsen and Brandon Weeden saying, you know what, I'm not getting it, or it's slow coming. I appreciate their honesty. Maybe things will smooth out come September. But I think there's reason to believe that this first year under Dana Holgorsen's offense will not be the offensive explosion that we've seen out of Oklahoma State football for the last several years.
Well, I think that could be, but at the same time, I think had they run the old offense, I think there's a chance that because of what you said before, it might have been a rough year anyway. You lose some of the weapons that they had a year ago, but let's remember, there were times last year when it was less than stellar offense. So I think if it's a step in a more exciting direction, a more high-scoring direction, I think most people would say that's a step in the right direction. It's just going to take some time, I think, for all these guys to learn this offense. Hey, stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.